I'm about to do the intro, so here we go. And if you guys see a dog over here, that is my dog Zeus. Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Board Game Revolution. This is the live play of Era of Tribes, and this is on Kickstarter right now. You have a few days left, and we're going to be going live with this when there's 24 hours left on Facebook. So here we go, Era of Tribes, solo mode. This is a game that's it's brutal. That's the best thing I can say about this game. And brutal in a good way, not one of those like you just bang your head against the wall. Bad. This is. Let me just show you this game. It is such a huge table presence, which is great. Not only that this game has a lot that's going on for it. It reminds me of a Civilization game. Actually, Sid Meier's Civilization on the computer, because you have the actual map of the world. You have all the resources you can collect as you are expanding your empire. You have your technologies, you're researching. You're going through the eras as the Renaissance times as you're progressing your civilization up. Not only that, you have barbarians that are constantly moving in the solo mode, which you actually don't have in the regular 2 to 4 player mode. There's a thing that you guys are getting with the the new game that has been released on a stretch goal, and that is a modular map, which makes this a true 4X style game. So you'll actually have modular maps that turn over pieces as you're exploring, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think that's what this game has been missing. So real quick, let's go over the actions you can take. And what is the purpose or the objective of this game. So as you can see on my little board right over here, we have 2 people as well as all these boxes. So what do all these boxes mean? Well, this allows us to expand. Expansion happens automatically when you are at the end of every round, but you can choose to advance it beforehand to actually get more players involved from your board onto the table. So if we were to expand, you would be assigning people from your pool right here to at least at max starting off 1 to each province. After that, you're then going to move, and they can only move at the start of the game, only 1 movement. If you ever get the horse, which is right here, let me show you onto this. You actually can move up to 2 additional times with your vassals. Anytime they move onto a new region, you'll automatically settle that region and get the resources that are on it. So here I would get 2 luxury goods. Again, if you guys have played Civilization, you know all about what the luxury goods are. And this, again, has it just like in Civilization, the game. If you were to go on to, let's say, this province right here, you would get the food and add it to your plate right here, which is how you control how many vassals you have. So let's go into that real quick, since we talked about movement and placement. So how do you get these vassals when you take the expansion action? So these vassals come out with the number of leaders you put in, plus any number of luxury goods. So if you have the orange ones, this will add 1 vassal, this would add 2 vassals, your food, and then plus or minus your morale. And the morale track is right over here, so right now we're starting at 0. So if I were to start it up and without any luxury goods, I would have 1 because of food, and then whatever I have and the leaders that I assigned there, so that I would have 3 vassals. 3 vassals I can effectively put out onto the table. But as you can see, since I only have 2 spots, there's no sense of actually using all of that because I can't put 3 vassals down. So let's bring this back here. So we've talked about movement, we've talked about placement, and then the last thing is cities. And there's also battles that are involved in movement, but we'll get into that later on because that's a whole different system in itself. So we have movement, again, is 1 and 1. If at any point you have 3 vassals right there into one region, what you can do is bam, put a city down. And cities allow you to start doing taxation, which your people are willing to pay, but they're not happy about paying. So your morale will drop down, and we'll get to more on that when we go to the taxation action. Now, to put a city, you can't start off building cities at the beginning, just like in Age of Wonders and Civilization. You actually have to research it, and that's what's so important about this track right over here, this rondelle that you see. This rondelle allows you to improve your civilization as it's going through, upgrading throughout the times. Excuse me, sorry. So if I wanted to build a city, I would have to move the upgrade down to the next level, and that will allow me to build up to 2 cities. And that's the only way you can start building cities. But again, just like everything else, we'll get to that once we get to that action. So what is the second action? We see right here, the trade action. This is how you get money in the game. Well, one of the ways you get money in the game. The trade action gives you 1 money, or Taylor, when you take that action for every luxury good, trade post, and leader that you put into that. So if, again, we put 1 there, we would get 1 money back. If we were to put that in a luxury good, we would get 2 money back. If we were to have a trading post, that would add an additional money. But the thing is, you see this right over here, this is talking about bonuses. So let me put the zoom on to over there. So you can actually, again, in the upgrade track, improve how well your trading does. So just like as if you're having seaports, or if you've built caravans in Civilization, it's just like that. And that's what I love so much about this game. It gives me so many reminiscing times about playing Civilization. So that's what the trade action does. Next is taxes. So let's say that you have a city out and you're in desperate need of money. This is how you get a big influx, but at the same time, it hits a huge hit in morale because no one likes to pay taxes. So if you'll take a look on the bottom right here, they will have resource boards. They'll keep this more in place. So sorry about the mess. So if you'll see right over here, let me move this up a little bit. You'll see 8 money minus 1 morale. So that means that you'll get 8 money when you tax somebody with 1 person. If you have 2 leaders in there or more, you times that amount. So if I had 2 leaders in there, it would be 16. If I had 3 leaders in there, which you can get, it would be 24. So it keeps on moving up, but at a huge hit to morale. And how does that work? So if you take a look over here, so we say morale equals -3 per leader plus -1 per city times leaders. So if I had 1 city out there, it'd be 1, as you can see, 1 morale. So that is the morale of value times leaders is, so if I had 2, it would be 2 plus an additional 3. So that would drop my morale significantly by 5, and it would just go right over there to now I'll have -2 morale each turn, which actually affects how well you can grow because you're always taking that negative hit. All right, so we'll bring that back up. Come back here. Let me fix this real quick into the next step, which is democracy. Now, democracy is really effective in a multiplayer game because you can actually there we go, make deals with people, trade provinces, put down trading posts. But the main thing that you can do in solo mode for it is use that action to gain victory points, or what's called IP in this game. So that will let you build up your IP as you're going through. And the way to win this game, we'll get to in a little bit, but I keep on jumping ahead because I'm so excited about all these different things that happen and possibilities of winning. All right, so next, after diplomacy, we have improvements. So improvements is this little rondelle right over here onto the sideboard. So the rondelle is the improvement. This is how you start upgrading your civilization when it comes to what they can do. So we have, starting from the top, we have city building, we have farming, we have culture, navigation, we have trading, and we have military. So each one, on the first level, it costs only 4 to go up if you're the first one. If someone else has already researched it, it's actually 3. If you are the first person to research that improvement, that's a victory point. If you are not the first person, you don't get any victory points for it. As you continually move down, though, it becomes more expensive to do. And not only that does it become more expensive, you also have negatives if you don't also upgrade its matching partner. So let's say we're doing farming and we wanted to go to the next level of farming. Well, you see there's a connection here between farming and agriculture. Oh, I'm sorry, farming and culture right here. And if you wanted to go to the second level of farming, it costs 8 plus plus 5. So you have 13 that you have to do if you don't have the combination already set. So if you don't have these two, these two right here to upgrade down to there, you have to pay that additional amount. And it goes throughout the whole board like that as a rondelle. Again, blending together how each one affects the other. So just like military, if I want to go to the second stage of military, I have to be in the first stage of agriculture first, or less I want to pay extra. But there is negatives to that. So let's say that you want to upgrade one of your technologies and you have 4 cities out. Well, guess what? Each city reduces the cost of technologies by 1. So that's another way how they complement each other by building more cities, which allows you to pay cheaper costs in your improvements. All right, so that's the improvement action. We have 2 more left, and then we're ready to get into this game. All right, then we have bread and circuses. This is how you get your morale up. And that's something you're going to be constantly fighting, is the morale, because it will constantly be fluctuating downwards and you're having to keep your people happy. So the more you expand your civilization in your cities, the more morale drops. So if you have a city down, again, remember that -1? Well, that -1 happens at the end of every turn. Also, if you're still in the Neolithic era, at the end of your turn, morality drops. That doesn't go away until the Bronze Age. As for cities, those never go away. They'll keep on dropping every turn. All right, next what we have is the Revolution. And this is how you go into the next age. Once you have hit these goals, right, listed on the bottom of the top areas. So we have 3 luxury goods, 1 city, 4 improvements. As long as you hit 2 of the 3 of them, you can do a revolution and go into the next era. When this happens, you get bonuses. Like when you go from the Neolithic to the Bronze Age, you will get a new worker. You will no longer have that negative that's constantly dropping your morale. You will also get to see if you hit these bonuses. When you're playing a 2 to 4 player game, these bonuses affect with whoever has the highest. Like this one says merchants. I'm going to put it over into a detail cam right here. So merchant says that if you have the most luxury goods, you get 3 points. Whoever has a second gets 1. So in a solo game, the way it works is if you are the player out of all the barbarian tribes that has the most, you get 3 points. If you don't, you get nothing. So that is something you have to be wary of. And I think we're about ready to start. I'm going to go over more stuff as we go on through the game and as we hit there, because there's just a lot of stuff that's going on and I don't want to be confusing you way too soon. So starting out, let me first make sure I have my people all in place. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I took 1 out. All right. So before you begin, you'll collect 5 money, which I have right here, as well as you'll get to upgrade any 1 improvement for free. So I'm going to start off with farming, because as you can see where I'm at, because I'm Italy, I'm surrounded by water, and the closest food is actually either at the end of the boot or as I get into Greek territory, and Greek is going to be expanding like crazy. So I'm going to go with that. This will give me, starting off, 2 food now that I have this addition of. All right, there we go. So now that's 2 food added to my plate. Let me put this more centralized again. Sorry for the movement, guys. All right, there we go. So here we go. Starting out, what do I want to do? Well, I don't want to expand because it gets to auto expand at the end of every round. So why waste the action if I don't need it just yet? So I have money. I have 5 money. And the very first thing I'm going to do is improvement because I want military. The reason I want military is the fact that it is going to be absolutely dangerous as I go throughout, because each territory in a solo mode that would be another player is actually a barbarian horde, and these move at the end of every round, just like auto expansion for me would be. It's also a auto expansion for them. So I'm going to pay my 4 money. So here we go, 4 money paid, and it's paid out. My military is out there. I automatically get to move one of my free people into my military without paying the cost of it. Let me get that glare off of there. Let me see if I can. All right. So that is now increasing my army. Next, what I want to do is, I only have 1 money now, and I know my morale is going to be dropping. So what I'm going to do is, you know what? I'm going to do diplomacy and just start off by getting points. So actually, I've gotten 2 points, 1 for the upgrade and for the improvement, and 1 for taking diplomacy by doing 1 victory point, change turn order. That doesn't actually happen here. So there we go. All right, so now we do the auto expansion phase. So the auto expansion phase starts off as a solo game with you. So with auto expansion, I have, as you can see, 3 food. My morale is 0, so it doesn't go negative, it doesn't go positive. And from there, I'm going to take 2 workers or vassals, and I'm going to put it onto my 2 spots. Now I'm going to move. So I'm going to expand my territory, and I'm going to immediately get these luxury goods, which is great because, again, these luxury goods give you bonuses for actions. Last is I can't build a city. I can't do any battles. So that's the end of my auto expansion. And now, the way with the new game, it used to be a die, but now it is going to be in a bag, and you're going to randomly draw a color, and that color is yellow, so that's going to come out right there. And now, who's going to expand but the Egyptians? So how does the solo mode expansion work for the Barbarian Horde? Well, the expansion works is that they will move to every province that is adjacent to them. So it's 1 province adjacent to them. So we have here, here, and here. So they, as you can see, they expand really quickly. All right. So we have done their auto expansion. They don't collect goods or service. Basically goods or services. But they've auto expanded, and now it's time for me, turn 2. And now there's something that's actually being blocked. So I'm going to move a camera real quick. Here we go. Take that out of the way. So you have 10 turns to complete the game, to hit one of the end game conditions. This is going to move because we've done turn 1 from 40 to 50. Now, what happens at the end of the game? So if you've completed the game or hit one of the conditions that ends the game, you get 5 points for everyone that is above I'm sorry, below those 10 rounds. If it's above those 10 rounds, it's minus 5 points. I'm going to actually go over to this cam real quick to show you guys. So just like in, again, regular Civilization, Sid Meier's Civilization, there are multiple ways you guys can win this game. And as you can see, there are all the win conditions right there. So you have the glorious victory. One player gets 28 IP or victory points. Then you have the technical victory, which is getting 15 technologies. Then we have the dominating one, where you have 25 land provinces all around. You have culture, which is reaching the ancient times. Military, conquering one player's home, all of their home provinces. And then you have triumphant victory, which we'll get to soon. So, sorry, I have to bring the book out because there are so many different ways you can win in this game. All right, so that was turn 1. Now it's back to me. All my leaders come back to me. My morale drops by 1 because I'm still in the Neolithic era. And I'm going to activate that cam again. Here we go. Boom. Sorry, I also have my dog here who is moving my cameras because he wants attention. All right, there's also one thing I forgot. With the Romans actually have a special ability. At the end of the turn, if you want to, you can actually recruit a legion for free. And that's what I'm going to do. Again, it's all about military because I know I'm going to be fighting. All right, so looking here, again, I only have 1 money, but I do have luxury goods. So I'm going to assign here and these 2 to get 3 money back because I really want another improvement. So there we go. We have 4 money right there. And my next action is going to be improvements again. And this time what I'm going to take is, I think it's going to be, ooh, this is tough. Ooh. All right, it's going to be navigation. And I'm going to do navigation so that way I can start building boats. So now with navigation, I can actually spend 2 money to convert a vassal into a ship, which will let me start dominating the sea around me. So we'll do that. We'll spend the 4. And that's my turn. Again, we're going to do auto expansion. I am still at 0. So I have 3 food, and so I can put down 3 people, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, is expand here, here, and that's it for now, because I have no money to convert people into vassals. But what I can now start doing is collecting this food. And food is important because when you build cities, you actually lose food for every city you have. It comes out of your plate. As you can see, I already have 5, so I might want to actually do a city next round if I can get enough money. So there's that. Now we're just going to do the Barbarians Expansion. Here we go. Rolling those bones, rolling the bones. Here we go. And we have green, so green expands now. So where are we going to go? So they have to go to land provinces that are adjacent. So there they are. Those are the 3 adjacent land provinces. And as you can see, the Greeks are already coming at me. That's the end of turn 2. My morale drops. Now I'm at -1. So that's really going to start hurting if I don't start getting that back up. So we're going to move everything back. All right. So we need money, and we need a way to fight. Oh, actually, I'm going to recruit that legion right there. I keep on forgetting that. Each person has their own asymmetrical power this is the Romans' power, just like in a lot of Roman-based games. It's all about the legion and how powerful those legions were. So here we go, turn 3. This game really leads to a lot of AP. You know, I kind of need to start getting people. And that's another thing you can do with diplomacy is sacrifice 3 people and 3 money and get an additional leader. Or I can upgrade. So let's see, what do I have? I don't have the culture yet. I'm -1 on the luxury good, and I don't have a city, so I can't do a revolution. So I am going to do bread and circuses to raise up my morale. So that is going to be 3 morale that is going to go up. So we are now up back to 0 basically. No bonuses for morale for expansions, but it gives us more time in the Neolithic era before we're going to be starting to get hit by quite a bit. Sorry, we got to keep that out there. So that was there. And the second action is going to be, you know what? I'm going to gain another money. Until I have a city, money's hard to come by. That's my turn. Now it's auto expansion time. We're at 5. Really, only 2 need to go out. And what this does, so here's the next rule. So we've now gotten to a new rule that is quite important, is that in the expansion phase, if you decide not to use 3 vassals, you can convert 3 to 1 morale. It's basically telling them, hey guys, you can work, so love me better. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Since I'm only going to put 2 out there, I'm going to increase the morale by 1. I'm going to do my movement. Let's go back to the table. So my morale is now at +1, which is great, which gives me more time to face the music here. And now it is time for them to go. And we have red. So now it is red's movement expansion. So let's see where they can expand. So adjacent provinces are here. We'll do here. And might as well start conquering this way. All right, so we have another expansion, another turn. We're on the 4th turn now. So as you can see, it's hard to get a win in 10 rounds. But if you do, you're going to feel like a god. Oh, and I again forgot, I do want to hire that legion. All right, we're going to bring everything back. Next round, we drop morale again for the round. And now here we go, is I'm going to use everything into trade to get me 3 money. Now I have 4. And I'm going to do improvement for my 4th improvement. And I'm going to put that into trade, which now, here is the cool new thing. Every time I do trade, I get an additional bonus. So this bonus allows me to, instead of just using luxury goods and people, this allows me to actually get an additional one outside of that. So we'll spend the 4 there. And actually, I have forgotten to move up victory points 3 because these are all first time ones. 1, 2, 3. Again, remember, every time you are the first one to discover an improvement, you get the points for it. Actually, it's only 2 because the first one was free. All right, there we go. All right, so I've used my people. Now it's time for auto expansion. And I am going to use these 3 to go here, here, and here. So I'm going to move this one into Rome, the Roman province. I'm going to use this one. I don't want to fight, So I'm going to go to this one to get the food. And now I'm going to convert those three. Yeah. Those three into a city. So to do that, what happens is... Oh, I can't. I forgot to upgrade. That's on me. That is completely on me. I forgot to upgrade that one. And that was what I was planning. And there's mistakes like this that happen all the time in this game because you really have to think about what you're doing. And when I'm teaching and playing, I forget. It's just me. As you can see, I'm actually wearing my hair down, so you can see how serious I am with playing this game for you guys to fit the times. I am going to hire on to that Legion. And now we're going to do the Barbarians' turn. We're shaking it up. And we have green. So green is going to expand. I'll grab that later. So green is going to expand again to every adjacent land region. So we have one here. We have one here. That's this one. That's this one. And one there. So battle's about to begin. As you can see, we're about to have some fighting going on. All right, so here we go. So my morale drops into the round. It is now my turn, and you're about to see what happens in battles. So I am going to actually choose to... Yeah, I am. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to do auto expand as my first action. And I can do up to 6. So I'm just going to use 1. Actually, you know, I might do 2, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to move this one down, and a battle will commence. So let's talk about fighting now. So we're going to move this one down and this one down. So this is your battle board. So you're going to get the attacker gets the red die, and the defender gets the green die. You will also now test with who has the most strength, who has the most military combat, and who has the better morale. All right, so ties also go to the defender, which sucks because I didn't raise my morale high enough. So strength is going to be, let's see, the Greeks have 1, so we're going to put it into here, 1. Then they are on mountains, so that's +1. And then for every adjacent province that is barbarian, they get +1. So they are at 4. Right there. Well, right now I'm at 1, and I'm going to send in all of my legionnaires. So that gives me 5. So I'm going to have, here we go, 5 in there. They have 4. So I will have the most strength. I will also have the most in military. You can see the chart up here. It shows you what is their additional strength, additional morale, and additional military. At the Neolithic era, they are only at 0. So that's why what we're going off of. So their strength is 4. Their technology, military tactics is 0. I am at 1 because I'm at level 1. And their morale and my morale is both at 0. So since we're both at 0, defenders always win ties. So they will get that. So now we will roll the die and see what happens. So anytime a die face lands on the strength or the military. It's a little dark there. Or the military. Boom. Alright. Or the military. I will kill one of their units. If it ever lands on morale, right there, if it lands on morale, then they will kill one of my units. If it lands on the shield, it is blocked. Alright, so here we go. I'm sorry, it means defender. So they'll kill one of mine. Alright, so here we go. Roll the die. And we have a military and a mechanics, which are both me. So 2 of their units will die. We'll now go with the roll again. See what happens. Alright, it's 1 and 1. So one of my legionnaires will die. One of their people will die. Alright, and the last one, it's 1 and 1. So again, one of my legionnaires will die. One of my there will die. So this will be removed. I now control the province, and I get the luxury good back into my to my place. That's awesome, and that gives me a nice defensive point as well, because it's in the mountains. So I always will get a bonus for that. Now I could go and push onto the next land, but I'm not going to yet. But because what I'm going to tell you about is the victory parade. So now that I've won a battle, every time you win a battle, your victory parade goes up. Now to get the victory parade winning condition, your victory parade. Let me go over to here. Your victory parade, which is down here, and your IP have to meet. If they ever meet, then you win. Now, if your victory parade ever hits a red mark, your morale goes up by 3. If it ever hits a black mark, you get 1 victory point. So they give bonuses as you do more battles. But if this was a player versus player game, if I were to fight someone in their province, if a vassal is taken, I get negative morale. Same thing is I'm attacking a trading post or a city. It's negative morale to me. So while it's good, it also can suck to do fights like this. All right, so I have now taken control of that one. We're now going to do the next one. They have 1, 2. Actually, I'm not going to do this because we're going to be tied. And they're going to have more chances to defend. So I'd rather to be defending than them. So we're going to keep it like that. So that was turn 1 was the auto expansion. So let's raise this back up into what we can do now. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I am going to get more money. So that will give me 5 money in this turn because I get the 3 luxury goods, the 1 leader, plus the 1 additional. So let's get that. 5 money into my spawn point. All right. So you can see fights are already cracking out. This is fun. Alright, so now there is no auto expansion phase for me because I've already expanded. So I'll immediately go into the bag. We'll see what we draw out. And we draw out red. So red auto expands. So let's get their expansion. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're really taking over the southern, the top of Africa over here. All right. So that's that. Move the turn marker up. So can I hit a revolution? Yes, I can. Now, what happens when you do a revolution is that when you do a revolution, your turn immediately ends. So you may want to do any actions that you can before you do a revolution. Also, don't forget, every turn, if you're in the Neolithic age, reduce that morale. So here we go, back to the board. All right, so here we go. Everything comes back. And first thing I'm going to do is, since I have the money, is... Oh, sorry. This comes back to my pool. And I forgot to get the Legion. So here's another thing to remember. Anytime you use your army in a fight, they don't come back. They actually, if they die or not, they stay on the board and then get wiped and go into general supply. So you always have to remember that if you want to keep your army, you have to keep on working those... spending the money to increase it. Ah, man. You know, I may just use everything into morale to get it up. Yeah, I'm going to do that because that will get me into 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're now at positive 1 now, which is a good thing to have because now if their morale stays the same, but if we get into a battle, I will have the advantage. So here we go. We are now going to do the revolution. So what happens when the revolution happens? First, you're going to check the goal. So this is merchants. Whoever has the most luxury goods gets the points. Also, if you're when you upgrade, you get 2 victory points. So if you do a revolution, we got the 2 victory points. So luxury goods. I have 3. They have 1. Egypt has 1, and they have 1 as well. So I'm not going to beat the Barbarians in victory in the conditions. So that does not happen. That sucks. So the new one gets revealed, which is Shepherds. I got to look up which exactly that one is, but that is next. All right, so the revolution that immediately ends my turn. There is no auto expansion because, again, this ends my turn. But I now have an additional leader to use for the next round. So let's also move this up. And here we go. So let's see who expands now. Don't forget to move this. And it is red again. So let's expand with red. 1, 2. Those are those 2. And that's that one. Alright, so the rule for expansion when it comes to the Barbarians is that they have to at least move to 1 land province. If they cannot move to any land province, they will then start going over the sea. Then they'll go to the nearest sea space. If there are any that are the same amount of spaces for land between the seas, they'll go on all of them. So I have to get ready to protect my southern border because it looks like they have a high chance to come at me, man. I don't like it. They can come and just destroy my home city, and then that's the game. Game over, man. Game over. I feel like Bill Paxton just then. Game over, man. Game over. All right. So here we go. My turn again. And now we have 3 people, which is great. I have money, which is also a good positive thing. I need to start building cities. I can continue doing research as well. So let's do that first. is the improvements, and I'm going to start the city improvement. So this is going to cost me 4. This will give me a victory point. So that moves up. I can now build cities, so I can prep for that soon. So if that's the case, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do taxes first, so I'll get 5 here with all my luxury goods. And now I'm going to do expansion. So the first things first is people. So if I do this here, they are also in the new age. They have +1 to their strength. So this would be 1, 2, 3. Max I can get is 3. But I can hire people into my legion, except for I don't have any people to do that with. So here's what's going to happen. Is I'm actually going to put that one there. Here's the next little rule that I need to tell you about, and that is grabbing people from here before your city comes out. So these people do not have to be required to have your city put out there before you can grab them. But if you do grab them, you have to decrease your morale by 1 because you're kind of forcing them out. And I'm going to do that so I can build a city and get more people into my free vassal spot, because my vassals are starting to dwindle. So here we go. I have 3 now vassals in here. These are going to come back into my pool. A city's going to come out right there. These 2 are going to come up. And there we go. It's going to cost me 2 food to do that. So I'm going to take these food from here and put them back into the general supply. Hey, sorry I didn't read your message earlier. This is Error of Tribes. This is actually on Kickstarter right now. There's 24 hours left for this game. So check it out if you like what you see here. It's a great civilization game that is, even in solo, it's hard. It's brutal. And as you can see, I'm not doing so well. All right, so I've built out my city right here. I've lost my food. I've gained more people. I can now start doing taxation if I wanted to. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start hiring people into my army. So I'm going to take this 5. It's going to cost me, here, let's put this centralized. It's going to cost me 1 for each. So we're going to put the 5 in, take 2 back. So I'm putting in 3 because I know the barbarians are going to come. I just know it, and I got to prep for it. So there we go. Now it's time for auto expansion. I've already expanded, so I don't get to auto expand. So here we go. It's their turn. Roll, 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 roll. And just as I thought would happen, green pops out. So let's move the green into the provinces that are adjacent. So this one is going to move up 1. This one's also going to move up 1. We have this one going to move here. This one's going to move there. All right, so we have 2 battles taking place. So you always start from left to right, top to bottom. So we're going to do the top one first. They are at strength 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at strength 1 right now. So if they're at 4, I'm going to go to 4. So let's put out the pieces. They have 4. I have 1 so far. I'm going to put in 3 more right there. So here we go. So who has the higher morale? I do. So I get the morale for this one. I am also defending So any ties that happen come to me. So strength, we're at 4 and 4, that comes to me. The military strength, we're at 1 and 1, that comes to me. So I actually have the advantage in this battle, and that was because I prepped for it, because I knew it was going to happen. Hey, Gracie, this is Error of Tribes. It's on Kickstarter right now. Only a few days left. So here we go. And yes, this game is really cool. If you were a huge fan of Sid Meier's Civilization, you'll really enjoy this game. This is actually better than Civilization New Dawn that is supposedly Sid Meier's. So here we go. We're going to do the fight. We're going to roll the die. And both of them are me, so 2 of them die. We're going to do the next one. And both of them are the defender, so 2 of them die, and I win the battle. But because I did not initiate the battle, I don't get to move my victory parade on that one. So now we do the bottom one, and we will remove these people back into my into my supply. So we have 1 versus they have 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's give them their 4. So right now I'm at 2. If you're in the mountains and you're defending, you automatically get. It is Error of Tribes. Let me. Here we go. You guys can see the name right behind me. This is it right there. Error of Tribes. All right. So also because it is a medieval game, I have my hair down for it to show that I'm trying to be in character here. All right, so let's move this down. Going back to the battle, it is 1-on-1. They have 4 strength right now. I have 2 strength, so we're gonna simulate the 2 right here. And all I have to do is put 2 more people in. Again, because defenders always win ties. So right now, because I'm winning the tie, basically everything except for if a sword gets rolled, then they kill me. But if not, I win. All right, so I win both of those. So we have a morale and a mechanics one, which is from your technologies. Let's go with the next one. Morale and defender shield. So they lose that. I lose basically all my army's gone. But that's okay. It effectively blocked them, held them off from countering me. And now at the end of the round, because I'm the Romans, let's move this back up. I get to hire a legion into my thing, into my army for free. And now we move this up, and we're only 4 rounds away from the 10 round mark, and I am nowhere close to winning this game. So after that 10 round mark, I'm going to start losing mass amounts of points, and it's going to suck. So here we go. We move everything back. I lose 1 morale because I have a city. As you can see right here, shows you how many morale you lose every time. So there we go. And now I have a lot of vassals, which is great, and I also need money. Food is alright, but I think I'm about to take a huge hit because I am going to start taxation. So here's an action you guys haven't seen yet. So taxation, and I'm going to put 2 people in here, which is probably a huge mistake, but taxation gives you a huge boost of money. So you see this money value right down here, right in the bottom. Let me make this a little bit more. There we go. So it's 8 money. So because I put 2 people in there, I actually get 16 money right now. So boom, massive influx of money. But I also lose a lot of morale. Here we go. So per leader, it is -3. So that's -6. Actually, here we go. It's -1 for the number of cities. Plus -3, which is -4 times 2, so I'll lose 8 fields of morale. So because I tax them, they hate me. Oh God, they hate me. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My morale is now at -3. That, whew. Gracie, okay, so this is a solo mode of the game. It actually plays up to 4, and I think because of all the stretch goals, I mean, it's already broken $70,000. With all the stretch goals, it is up to 5 players, and not only that, the board is no longer a board. It's actually modular. So right now, how the game is in its prototype phase is a 3x, but when it comes to you, it's actually a full 4x game, because all you will see is the spots you were on, and as you expand, you are now flipping over those tiles. So that fills out that last X that they were missing, which was explore. So that's also what's included. All right, so we need to raise the morale as soon as possible, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is take this action, which is called Bread and Circuses. So it increases my morale by 4 because I used 1 leader and 4 luxury goods. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm at -1, which is better, but it still sucks. So auto expansion. So now what happens with the auto expansion now that I have a negative? So with auto expansion, I can do 4 minus 1 because morale is 1. I mean, morale is -1. So I can expand with 3 people. And before that, I'm going to do that is I'm going to hire 4 people in at 1 each. So, because you always need a nice army in the solo mode. It's just how this game goes. Because if you don't have an army in the solo mode, these people are just going to come flying at you. These barbarians. All right, so we did that. Now I have 2 to expand with. I don't want to go charging into their territory, but what I will do is put 1 here. Yeah, 1 there. Yeah, that's it. And I'm going to spend 2 money because I've unlocked the naval. Sorry, the navigation. You know, my ships. And I'm going to convert this into a ship for 2 money. So, yeah, I've already paid the 2 money. And take this food and put it into my supply. So now I actually have a sea bridge that allows me to move people from Italy over into Greece without having to go around. Okay, so Barbarians in this style is only in solo mode. There are also Barbarian hordes that do not move in the 2 to 4 player game / 2 to 5 player game. They're actually here on the corner right there. They actually, when you take them over, excuse me, when you beat them, there actually is bonuses on the backside of these that help with endgame conditions and bonuses. So, yes, they are there, just they don't move. In the solo mode, they expand and move. It's basically an AI system that gives you something to play against. And it can hurt. As you can see, it has been hurting. All right, so here we go. What are we going to do? Oh, yeah, the rest of the auto expand. You know what? I'm going to stop there. I'm going to hire in my legion right there. And yeah, that's it. So here we go. Let's see what comes up now. We have green, just like I thought I would again. All right, so we have an auto expand right here. We have an auto expand over here, which I completely been missing out on. And then we have two back again coming at me. They are relentless. It is basically like the Germanic hordes fighting the Roman legions, except for Germany is blocked off in this game. That's what you see is this border here. So we are going to do this fight again, top to bottom. So let's do what the power is. Adjacency, they have 1, 2, plus 3 and 4. So again, they're at 4. Mine right now is at 1. And then I'm going to, sorry, we should be having this the other way. So 1, and I need 4 for strength, 3 for strength. So we're at 4 and 4 right there. So I'll win that tie on strength. I win the tie again when it comes to the knowledge, but I will lose morale. So now they'll also gain morale on theirs. So it's a little bit more even of a match. So we roll 2 of the strength. Surprisingly, I win. that was a relief, to say the least. Next, roll again. I don't think I rolled that well enough. There we go. Okay, I guess I'm just going to win. So I won that battle. So all of these come out. Goes back to the free pool. Now we'll do the bottom one. Same thing. They're going to be at strength 4. I am going to be at 1, 2. So, sorry. Got to put these in reverse. So, moving this back into sight. So, they're the attacker, so they get 4. I'll have 1 for my guy, 1 because I am in the mountains. I just need to bring 2 up, so I'm just going to bring those legions up that I have. So, we're at 4. Again, it's going to be the same. They get their attacker roll as well as morale. I will have the defense roll plus those 2. So, here we go. I got the strength and the shield, so they'll lose 2. Let's roll it again. Strength, strength, and I win again. All right. Being very defensive here, which is kind of nice. So there we go. That's their expansion. And we have 3 turns left before I start losing points. I don't like losing points, but it's about to happen. I know it. All right, so let's move everything back. My morale drops by 1 because I have a city, which sucks. All right. I need luxury goods, and I need a total of 8 to win the game. And I have 3. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is over there. Huh. Or I could just destroy the Greeks. That is always a possibility. Sorry, let's move these Greeks out. That might be the thing to do. Is just say, sorry, Greeks, I hate you, and just faceplant them and steamroll them. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put 2 in technology since I have a lot of money to spend. It's going to cost me, actually, yeah, because it's going to be 4 and 8, which is 12, which is basically all my money except for 1. So here we go. We're going to spend 12, and we're going to move up culture by 1, which gives me a permanent benefit to, what do you call it? The bread and wine ability. Let me go check to make sure about what the bonus is real quick. I don't want to tell you guys a lie. I don't normally do culture, so. All right. So what happens is I will get to add one bonus into there. So this is exactly how it reads. For culture, you invest the money in culture institutions, thereby you increase your influence. On culture 2, you can place one tailor in there for bread and circuses, and it gets you always a bonus. So for this level, what I get is a victory point, and I increase morale by 2, which is a nice thing. That's what the bonuses are here. So that was the first one. The second one is I'm going to increase. Oh, and that also gives me another victory point for being the first to increase that one. And I am now going to increase military because I don't want to be even with them. So that's going to cost me 8. Because I do have both. And it's going to give me another victory point. So again, for those who weren't a part of the big intro, whenever you're leveling up your technologies here, there are connections between the two. So with military, if I wanted to raise the military strength to level 2, I have to have military at 1 as well as architecture at 1. If I don't have architecture or military at 1 to get to military 2, it's going to cost me 8 plus 5. So that is 13 just to raise up to level 2. So because I had already both military and architecture, I don't have to spend that plus 5. Actually, I get 1 money back because since I have a city, it reduces your cost of excuse me, it reduces your cost of the military, of the improvements. So there we go. Now I have one more improvement. I think I might just take one more chance to put it all into bread and circuses to get my morale up, because just in case they come back over, I don't want to be tied and I don't want to be losing provinces, because I don't have many people this time to pull in the strength. Because right now at military 2, it actually costs me more to put military in there. So here we go. So it's going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, auto expansion. I'm going to spend 2 to move 1 person in. I have 5, 6. I'm not going to use 6, so I'm going to raise my morale by 1. So I didn't use 3. So there's that. And now here we go. Let's see, how long have we been at this so far? All right, we've been at it an hour. All right, cool. So that was my auto expansion. I'm not going to move into anything just yet. I have too good of a defensive one right here. I mean, it's only 4. It kind of shuts them off. No, I'm just going to stop there, get my legion in here, and let them go. Here we go. Let's see who comes out next. It is red. All right, so red can only expand to 1 area right there. Perfect. Let's move this up. Move my morale down by 1. 2 more turns left. And let us go now into... I have no money, which always happens. I'm not going to use taxes because that drops morale way too much. So what I may do is use everybody for trade. So that is 5, 6. Yeah, we're going to use 6 to get 6 money. And then we are going to increase morale. No, we're not going to increase morale. Can I upgrade anything? No, because it cost me 8. So actually, I'm just going to use them all there for 7 money. I know you'll be like, but Marco, you just wasted a turn. Well, sometimes you need to. All right, here we go. Moving the marker up. Auto expansion time. I have 5, but I can effectively only do 2. And you know what? I'm going to use that to increase my morale 1 and not do anything. All right, here we go. Going on for the next draw. And we have yellow. Yellow's finally expanding. So every adjacent territory. So we have 1, 2. Actually, that's it. That's the only adjacent ones right there. Actually, yeah, that's the only adjacent ones. So Egypt's slowly moving. I've already moved that. Morale drops down by 1. Let's reset. Alright, we're going to go until I get into the Stone Age. Once I get into the Stone Age, we'll call it quits. And I'll let you guys know later on how I do. So, I need a city. It's quite possible to get a city. And I know exactly where I'm going to put that city. But I will do that in the auto expansion phase. There's no sense of wasting it right now. So, again, let's see, 1, 2, 3. You know what? I can max out morale and also get money. So 1, 2, 3. And for everything that's above, you'll get 1 money. So I'm actually above by 3. So that'll give me 3 money. Right there. And now auto expansion phase happens. And here we go. So I am going to expand these 2. 1 here, 1 here. Move this one over and create a city from that. So to create a city, you'll move these 3 into your pool. You'll move these 3 up into your pool. And you'll put the city down. Now when you do that, you'll lose, again, 2 food. And at the end of the turn, end of every turn, now morale will drop down by 2. Which is going to be kind of rough. Alright, so here we go. But this is well fortified now because now that is 2 additional defense in that one area, which is kind of nice because it is not only a city, but it's also a mountain area. So let's draw to see what happens with which barbarian, and we have the red barbarians moving out. So they expand here. All right. Good to know, red barbarians. They're about to come in from my southern end and start attacking, which is not going to be fun. No, not at all. All right. So morale now drops by 2. I've already moved the marker away. We are at the 10th ninth round of the game. Nowhere near done, but I have a lot of money. I have some resources. And I actually have some vassals that I can use to do what I need to. So, sorry about this camera moving. My dog just felt the need to lay on the cord. So, sorry guys. He's getting a little antsy here. Didn't mean for that to happen. There we go. Alright, so back into the game. Alright, so I'm doing my expansion first. So I have 3, 4, 5 that I can, 4 that I can move. If I use a person, that might not be a bad idea. Actually, I'm just going to use 1. Do that for 4 vassals. Now I can move any number of those into, so I am going to put this one here, and then the other 3 I'm going to put into my military at 2 piece, so that's going to cost me 6. Alright, from there, what I'm then going to do is do diplomacy. Here, take the action to spend 3 to get an additional leader. So now I actually have 4 leaders, and this one I can spend immediately, which is really good because now I can then take these 2 plus all of this, put it into my resources. So that will give me 6 money back. Here we go. Comes back into my pile. Oh, sorry, I should have finished the military. So that we're gonna have a fight here. It's in the wooded area, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 in their defense, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in my attack. So I will get everything. I will get the strength in numbers. I will get the military bonus, as well as I'll have the morale bonus because they are still at 0. So let's roll it out, see what happens. So it's 1, they'll lose 2. Let's roll it out. They will lose 1, I will lose 1. And then last one is both me, so they will lose it. They'll lose that spot. And I have a nice new territory, and I think I'm about ready to expand into their area. All right. Now these go back into the pile. That'll be done. I've already done the other actions. End of the round, hire the Legion back. And now we will do who expands for the 10th round. And that is red. They have 1 adjacent. They'll take that spot. We are in the 10th round. I'm nowhere close to being finished. But we'll do this last round, and then I will continue the game, and you guys can find out how it ends. Also, in the fact that this is how the solo game is played. There are some differences when it comes to the multiplayer game, such as having, people fighting. You won't have the automated barbarian hordes that are coming through. So let's do this last turn. All right, so since it's last turn, I might just go all out. Doesn't that sound fun? Because if you take out 3 home provinces, which I can't do, but my people can move up to 2 now. So here we go. I also am going to start to need food. Food is nice. Alright, so I'm going to do that for the expansion. And we're going to hire 3 people. It's going to cost me 6 money. We're then going to, might as well do bread and circuses. So that is 5. So that's 2. So I'll get 3 money back. And the last action is going to be diplomacy. Let's keep on moving up the IP track. Alright, so that is that. Let's do auto expansion now. Actually, no, I can't do auto expansion because it's already been done. So the Barbarians going to attack. And of course, who is it? But none other than the Greeks. The Greeks really want to take over my lands. So we have here is adjacent. Here is adjacent. So we'll start from the top. They have 1, 2 adjacent, so they'll have 4. Here I have 1 so far. I don't want to lose it because I just got it. Sorry, I keep on putting these backwards. I'm the defender, they're the attacker. Oh, I forgot. When I did that battle before, I forgot to move my victory parade, which when it moves to red gives me 3 morale, which would generate basically 3 money, because I would also have used Circuses as well. Alright, so let's continue this one. I have 4 defenders in, so strength goes to me. The military comes to me. Morale is definitely me. So let's fight this out. So I kill 2. Let's roll the dice again. Kill another 2. So I've instantly wiped this out. These go back to the party. This comes back down, and now we'll take this out. And for the last battle of the game, it's going to be their guy, which they have only 1 adjacent to me. So they'll have a strength of 3. And the attacker. Let's move this down. Strength of 3 in the attacker. And I already have strength 2 there, because I have a city and the mountains. So I'm just going to put a legion in to get 3. So again, defense goes to the, ties go to the defender. So here we go. Alright, kill 2. So as you can see, as an attacker, if you don't have everything, it's harder for you to kill, or at least one of the possibilities. It's harder for you to even kill one thing. All right, so that was the last battle, and that is gonna be the live stream for today. If you have any questions, actually, let me switch over the cam. Guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. You can PM me or send me a comment onto the live stream. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm going to continue on playing this game, but you guys get how the solo mode is played, how the game is played. The only changes that really happen is there is no barbarians moving. Everybody's going to be taking the same turns that I was taking, alternating between first, second, and third player. Outside of that, there is no round counting to see if you can beat it in a certain amount of rounds. So this and the solo game, it feels like a different game. And I want to really push that, because there's not a lot of games. Well, there are some games out there, especially those, by David Turczi that feel like other games in a solo mode. This is one of them, and I have to say, Mr. Lorenzo, you did a great job on this, because this game in a multiplayer facet works very well, very smooth. You know, the rules are a little bit clunky to understand, but once you get it down, it flows very well. But when it comes to solo mode, this feels like a completely different game. It feels more challenging to some extent, because you have moving barbarian hordes that are coming at you, which in a 2-player game, actually 2 to 4-player game, there are barbarians out there, they just don't move. And so you feel like you have a little bit more breath when you're playing in that type of game. Plus, if you're playing 3 and 4, you have more of the map that you can play with. So it doesn't feel like, oh no, the threat is real and it's imminent. So good job. Great job. Guys, make sure to check this out on Kickstarter. There's a little bit left. I think we're coming on to the 24-hour mark, if not a little bit less than that. So if you like what you see here, please make sure to back it on Kickstarter. It ends on Monday at 9 a.m. I'm sure he's going to open up some late pledges for those who've missed it. My name is Marco. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.